Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, going to be looking at UFC 288's first fight on the main card. We're going to be looking at Charles Jourdain versus Kroni Gracie. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't know if this fight deserves to be on the main card, to be honest with you. I low-key kind of think the headliner in the prelims, Matt Frivola versus Drew Dober, to be honest with you, should have probably been on the main card, but I'm gonna stop complaining about that. Forget it, who cares? But all I will say is I'm normally right when it comes down to that, and that fight usually ends up being the better fight, a la Gaslam Curtis, a la Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady. But regardless, this is gonna be a featherweight matchup between Charles Jourdain, who's not one of the best fighters at featherweight, to be honest with you, but he is a very exciting fighter at featherweight who always goes for finishes, and he's going to be going up against Kroni Gracie, one of the Gracies. So interesting matchup. I could kind of see why it's on the main card just by the Gracie name alone, and Charles Jourdain above all else is an exciting fight. So, Jourdain is going to be 27 years of age, 13 wins, 6 losses, 8 knockouts, 4 submissions. Yes, he's had 1 decision he's won. Every other one of his fights, he is finished. He is 5'9" in terms of height, switch stance fighter, and one of the better switch stance fighters, I'd say, in terms of like how seamless he is with switch stance. That's a very important skill I feel more UFC fighters should really learn at this day and age, and it really helps a lot of the top switch stance fighters like Israel Adesanya, Dricus Duplessis, Sean O'Malley, Piotr Jan. All those guys are amazing switch stance fighters, and that really helps them out. Charles Jourdain is going to be up there. 69-inch reach disadvantage, a 0.12 takedown average. He has a 54.09 significant strike accuracy, minus 180 favorite. He has significant wins over Lando Vernada, Andre Ewell, and Marcelo Rojo. Going up against him is going to be Kroni Gracie, one of the Gracies. If you don't know the legacy and history of the Gracies, they are very steeply and deeply rooted in the history of UFC specifically. The original UFC event was basically made for, was it Royce Gracie or Cesar Gracie? One of the Gracies. The event was essentially made for him to win, so he's going to be 34 years of age, 5 wins, 1 loss. Yes, he's had 6 MMA fights at the age of 34. I don't like that. No knockouts, 5 submissions. That makes sense. 5'9" in terms of height, southpaw stance, a 70-inch reach advantage, a 0.88 takedown average. I don't like that. For Gracie, I don't like that. 47.46 significant strike accuracy, a plus 152 underdog with a significant win over Alex Caceres. So, Charles Jourdain. The best way to describe why I think he is going to be the one to win and why I agree with the betting line, in fact, I think it might be a little bit higher to be honest with you, is Charles Jourdain, while he's not the best, like he's on a 2-fight skid with decision losses to Shane Burgos and Nathaniel Wood. Both guys, I feel, are encompassing the bottom 15 of the featherweight division, though Shane Burgos did eventually leave to PFL. Like, we've seen Charles Jourdain, we've seen where his ceiling, we've seen where he goes. He loses against those guys who are just on the cusp of top 15 or 15. I believe Burgos at one point was ranked 14. That's where we've seen Charles Jourdain go, but he still is an exciting fighter. He's got a lot of power. He's got a lot of heart, and I like his switch stance fighting style. He does really good with knees. He does really good with both left straights and right straights. I like those shots. I like his hooks. He's just a fun fighter, to be honest with you, and he's got a lot of heart and grit. One fight I really like, and I like rewatching this fight too, is against Marcelo Rojo. He took it to him. Granted, Marcelo Rojo, not the best, but he really took it to him. Charles Jourdain, he lost round 1. He barely won round 2. His coach told him, you know what? You're 2-0. Go get that finish. He did everything in his power to get that finish. He had that Showtime ground and pound or whatever, where he basically jumped off the cage and do a, instead of like a Showtime kick, he did a drop like axe hammer fist or whatever. It was a crazy fight. Highly recommend you go and watch that fight. Very good fight. But when it comes to against these bigger guys, he loses decisions because he's really tough. It's hard to take him out, but he's able to lose decisions against these guys. But I've talked trash enough about him because I think he's going to win. Why do I think he's going to win? Because Kroni Gracie exemplifies the things I don't like with, like, he's one of my least, I don't dislike him as a fighter, but he has all the encompassing of what I dislike in a fighter. First off, one trick pony. His striking is not that good. He does not have good striking. He is a grappler. He is a Gracie. He goes for grappling. And that's the thing too. Like, if he's not going for grappling, he's getting taken out. And my least favorite thing is inactivity. When was his last fight? October 12th of 2019. 3.5 years. 3.5 years. And it's a loss. It's a loss. It's been 4 years since he's got a win. He lost to Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson used to be, back in the day, one of the most dangerous fighters in UFC. But at this day and age, I don't know. I don't know at 2019 if I consider him dangerous, to be honest with you. I really don't. I really don't know if I consider him dangerous, because you look at that. You look at Cub Swanson. Taken out by Ortega. Taken out by Edgar. Taken out by Moicano. Taken out by Burgos. Beats Gracie. And then he has another win against Pineda. Then he gets taken out by Chikaze. He won against Damage Elkins. Okay, cool. Regardless. It's not like he lost to Swanson as peak. Like Dustin Poirier lost to Swanson, but he lost as peak Swanson. Gracie lost to Swanson kind of washed up. I don't like that. And then he beat Alex Caceres, who's someone I've never been high on. Like, he destroyed Alex Caceres, but then again, also reason too is because he focused on his grappling, what he was good at. You know what he did in the Swanson fight? He stood and traded with him, and he just ate body shots for days. He was decimated, shots to the body and nothing else. And he's only had 2 fights in UFC. Beyond that, he's had 4 fights in other promotions. Like, he's literally on the top card because Gracie. Simple as that. I think he's going to get destroyed by Charles, unless Charles makes a mistake and he gets submitted. But the thing is, Charles Jourdain, has he been submitted? I believe his losses are really only by decision, if I remember correctly, to be honest with you. Decision. No, he was submitted by Rosa. Okay. He's had 1 submission. And Gracie, as much as I'm harping on him, he's good with his submission game. His ground game, submission game's good. But again, also he's a little bit older. Wasted his prime. He was 31 when he came into the UFC, and now he's 34, and he's going to have his 3rd fight. He could submit him. Charles Jourdain is someone who could submit him, but I'm going to be leaning heavily towards Charles Jourdain because I'm not high on the activity about Gracie. But he is Gracie, so it's all things to factor in, all things to mention, but they're all X factors and such like that. As of right now, if he dares try standing with Charles like he did against Cub, he's gonna get taken out. But I feel he's gonna try wrestle Jourdain. I feel like he's gonna try and go for him. I feel Jourdain's gonna stuff 1 or 2 of his takedowns, and Gracie's gonna get disheartened and taken out. Simple as that. I don't want to be that mean. I don't like being that guy, and I don't like saying the odds should be like heavily in favor of one guy. This is a fight I'm heavily leaning towards Charles Jourdain, and I don't even think he's amazing. I don't even think he's that good. Overall, I feel this fight is probably going to be the token weird fight of the card. I'm calling it right now. It's always when these fights as well too, when I say I feel this fight should be bumped down with the headline on the prelims. We saw this. It was Chookagian versus I can't even remember, Marlon Fruit. We saw that fight was not exciting. It was not good. And the fight underneath it, I said should have been on the main card, which is Bilal Muhammad versus Sean Brady. Look at that. That was a potential fight of the night. And Chris Curtis versus Kelvin Gastelum. That was fight of the night. And it was underneath Charles Rosa versus Christian Rodriguez, which was not all that good a fight. And we saw how overhyped Rosas was. So there you go. I'm going to say it right now. This is the token one of those fights. This is the token weird fight. And we're going to see Matt Favola versus Drew Dober is going to be a much more exciting fight. This has been your boy Gomi. Let me know what you think of the fight. Let me know what the hell you think Kroni Gracie has been doing for the past 3.5 years. And bye-bye.